Alright, what's up everybody? We're back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today's video, we're going to be talking about Julius Randle and the New York Knicks. We found out yesterday that Julius Randle will not be returning this season for New York, so we're going to talk about his impact and how the Knicks are going to fare without him now coming into this playoff run and stretch they're about to go on. Alright, thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. We just hit 600 subscribers, so appreciate all of you for that. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. Join the membership. If you want to learn more about the membership, there's a video on my channel explaining everything about it, so you can go back and watch that. Look to my Twitter, TikTok, stuff like that in the description down below. And yeah, I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So yesterday we found out Chris Haynes reporting saying that Julius Randle will not be back for the Knicks this season. Back on January the 27th, he suffered a shoulder injury against the Miami Heat, and he's been sitting out since then. There was never really a timetable, which is why I'm not really surprised that this came out, because there was never really a set timetable or anything that they said, all right, 4 to 6 weeks or anything like that. It was just kind of an injury. They were like, all right, we're gonna just see what happens, with those type of shoulder injuries. And he's been trying to come back, trying to work his way, and then we found out a couple weeks ago that in a contact practice, he suffered another injury to that shoulder, and now he's kind of like forced to get surgery, and with that surgery, he'll miss the rest of the season, and he'll be reevaluated in, I think they said, 5 months. So no Julius Randle for the Knicks for the rest of the season coming into the playoff stretch, which, of course, is tough. I mean, Julius Randle was an all-star this season. He got off to a really bad start, but after that, he was playing really good. On the season, he averaged 24 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 47% from the field. Again, he made the All-Star team. The Knicks were just starting to roll around that time. And then, of course, the Randle suffers an injury, and now he will not be able to come back for this Knicks team, which, of course, sucks because he's one of the better players on the team. But also, it's kind of like they've been playing without him so long already that now him being out for the season might actually kind of help the Knicks in a way, in terms of being like, all right, now we can finally know Julius Randle's not going to come back. Now we can keep playing the way we've been playing, because they've kind of had to change a little bit of how they play without Julius Randle. That's 24 points per game that you're missing. That's a lot of offense that you're missing. So they've kind of had to adjust more to that rugged, greedy style of play, which they already kind of had, but they also had the offense on top of it with Brunson, Randle, and all of them. But now without Julius Randle, it's kind of been a lot less offense and a lot more defense involved. And now they can finally be like, all right, now we know he's not going to come back, so we can keep playing like this, and we don't have to kind of incorporate him back into the system with only like 4 games left, like what the Sixers are kind of doing with Joel Embiid right now. We don't have to incorporate him back into the system with like 4 games left, and then it's like going to go into the playoff time, and he might still have rust on him, and he has not been a good playoff performer in the last couple of years, so add that onto the mix and all that stuff. And now they can finally just kind of breathe and be like, okay, we're not going to have Randle. We can keep playing the way we've been playing. And I just want to look at some of the numbers since Julius Randle's gone out. Since Julius Randle suffered the injury since his last game, the Knicks have gone 16-14. They've also had a couple other injuries and stuff in that point, but they've gone 16-14. And some of their stats, all these stats are just since January 28th, which is the first day they did not have Julius Randle. Since January 28th, they are bottom 5 in the league in scoring. They're 26 in points per game. They still are one of the best offensive rebounding team in the league, but they're bottom 5 in defensive rebounds, bottom 5 in assists as well. So again, a lot of their offense gone, points, assists, all that stuff gone down. They still have the 14th rated offense in that stretch, but the 9th rated defense. So their offense has been average, but their defense has been really good, and they have the 10th net rating. So they still have been a very good team without Randle. Of course, the 16-14 record doesn't really show that whole lot, because they did go on a little bit of a losing streak around All-Star break and stuff, because they had other injuries going on as well. But they've still been relatively good, considering they're missing an All-Star. And since Julius Randle's gone out, they've had a lot of different players step up. Jalen Brunson has been electric. Since Randle's gone out, he's averaging 30 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists, while shooting 47% from the field, 35% from 3, 85% from the free throw line. It's a lot more load on him now without Randle. And coming into playoff time, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Dante DiVincenzo has been amazing since Randle's gone out. Since Randle's gone out, DiVincenzo is averaging over 21 points per game, with 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and over 1.5 steals, while shooting 42% from the field, 38% from 3 on almost 12 and a half attempts, which is insane, and 76% from the free throw line. Josh Hart is averaging 12 points, almost 11 rebounds, and 6 assists with a steal per game. And Miles McBride is averaging 12 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal while shooting 45% from the field, 39% from 3, 88% from the free throw line since Julius Randle has gone down. They've got a lot of players stepping up. Of course, DiVincenzo, Hart, and McBride kind of been like the soul of this Knicks team. But they've had other guys as well. Isaiah Hartenstein has played very good all year. Precious Achiuwa, since Randle gone out, Precious Achiuwa was a starter at one point. He was playing really well. So the Knicks have had some players step up, which is nice. But they're going to have to keep this going throughout the playoff run as well. Throughout the playoffs, they're going to have to keep Julius Randle, load kind of on them, And it's going to be a lot tougher, especially when it comes to playoff time. Things slow down, all that stuff. And a lot of attention is going to be going to Jalen Brunson. I mean, it already was going to be, considering how good he is. But now without Julius Randle, it's going to be a lot more. Honestly, it's probably going to get to some points where teams are just going to be like, all right, you know what? Double Jalen Brunson and we'll live with whoever else takes a shot. I mean, we saw in that 61-point game he had the other week against the Spurs. The overtime period, he only scored 2 points because the Spurs are finally kind of like, okay, you know what? Let's just take the ball out of his hands. We're going to double him as soon as he gets the ball, and we'll live with Miles McBride and Dante DiVincenzo with Josh Hart beating us. And they didn't that night. Now, of course, all those three are really good players, obviously some of the better role players in the league. But when it comes to a playoff series and stuff, it's like, okay, like right now, they'd be facing off against the Orlando Magic in the first round. As the 5 seed against the 4 seed. And the Magic are one of the best defensive teams in the league. It'll be a very gritty battle. But the Magic, especially with the guards with guys like Jalen Suggs in them, the Magic are probably just going to be like, you know what? Double Jalen Brunson, and we'll live with Josh Hart taking 7 threes. We'll live with Dante DiVincenzo shooting 14 threes. We'll live with Miles McBride taking those shots. We'll live with Precious Achiuwa and Isaiah Hartenstein. Like, we'll live with that. As long as it's not Jalen Brunson, we're going to force everybody else to beat us. That's the strategy I would approach if I'm a team going up against the Knicks in the playoffs. The strategy I would do is, all right, anybody but Jalen Brunson. Dante DiVincenzo, you're going to have to hit 9 threes to win. Josh Hart, you're going to need to have a 20-point triple-double. Miles McBride, you're going to need to hit 5 threes. Isaiah Hartenstein needs to get 15-15. You guys need that. I'll let you have that. And if you do, hey, good job. You guys balled out this series, but we did not let Jalen Brunson score 40 and beat us. We let everyone else have to do it. That's gonna be the strategy, and it's just gonna be how good are the role players gonna be, and also how's the defense gonna be, because this Knicks team again, they've been a top 10 defense since Julius Randle's gone out. Even with Julius Randle, they're a really really good defense, but that's gonna have to come even more into play now, especially coming into playoff time, where you're not gonna be able to score 125 points and beat another team. You're gonna have to grit and grind these games out, and if their defense can hold up just till we get to the fourth, and then Jalen Brunson maybe could take over in the last couple of minutes, then they can win games like that. But they're just gonna have to. That's gonna be how they have to win in the playoffs, But another key factor of this is OG Anunoby. Since Julius Randle's gone out, OG Anunoby's only played 3 games since Julius Randle's been hurt. He has his own injuries with his elbow. He missed a lot of time. He came back for a couple games, but then now he's out again due to inflammation in his elbow. But Chris Haynes reported yesterday saying that they're trying to get him ready for the playoffs, and then I kind of believe that he'll be ready for the playoffs. Because OG Anunoby, I feel like, is the real big key to this, to see how far the Knicks go in this run. Now, of course, Julius Randle was going to be a big factor, but now without him, I think OG Anunoby is the key to seeing how well is this Knicks team going to be fair in the playoffs. Because OG Anunoby, again, elite defender. He carries his team defensively, but then offensively as well. He's got the tools where he can go put up 17, 18, maybe even a little bit more points per game. Now with a bigger role without Julius Randle. Like offensively, he's going to be a big, big key. So OG Anunoby coming in and playing and getting healthy is going to be a big, determining factor on if the Knicks can sustain this playoff run without Julius Randle. And I was looking at some of the lineups that the Knicks have played, saying like, okay, without Julius Randle, what has been the best lineups? And honestly, the lineup with the best offensive rating the entirety of the year for the Knicks, of course, has played at least 50 minutes. I went at least 50 minutes because there's some lineups that play like 2 minutes together and have a crazy offensive rating because of stuff. But the best lineup the Knicks had on the court this entire season, offensively and net rating-wise, has been the starting lineup they've been using. The lineup of Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, Miles McBride, Josh Hart, and Isaiah Hartenstein. They have a 138.6 offensive rating, which is the best, and a 30.9 net rating, which is the best. So the starting lineup they're playing right now has been their best lineup the entirety of the year. They've been playing really, really good. Just playing kind of just four guards and Isaiah Hartenstein. Let Jalen Brunson doing his thing. Have spacing all around Jalen Brunson with DiVincenzo being able to knock down 7 threes. Miles McBride being almost a 40% three-point shooter. Josh Hart doing all the little things. Isaiah Hartenstein has been amazing. That's been their best lineup for the Knicks. That's their best lineup they got. So they're going to keep using that lineup. And when OG comes back, that's only going to be even better. You know, OG's only played, again, only a handful of games. Not even a handful of games, you know. But looking at the lineup with OG in it, if you take Miles McBride out and put OG in that lineup, the lineup's only played 54 minutes together. And they have a 108.9 offensive rating, but they have the best defensive rating. That lineup has the best defensive rating in 87.2. So that same lineup I just said without Miles McBride, put OG in, that's the best defensive lineup the Knicks have had this season. So right now they're playing amazing offensively, and they have their best offensive lineup. When OG comes back, that's going to be their best defensive lineup. And that's a recipe for success. That's why I'm saying OG Anunoby is the real key. If OG Anunoby can come back and play, I feel a whole lot better about this Knicks team than I do without him, obviously. You know? So it's going to be very, really interesting to see how this Knicks team kind of fares in this playoffs. They're still trying to lock in seeding. Right now they're the 5 seed. They're tied with Orlando for 4, but Orlando has the tiebreaker. So, you know, they got to fight with Orlando, try to get that home court advantage. They can still get up to 3rd because the Cavs are only a game above the Magic and the Knicks as well. Well, not even a game, like a half a game. So the Knicks could still climb up to 3, maybe take on an Indiana Pacers or Miami Heat team or even the Sixers now. But they can also, you know, match up with Orlando in that stretch. Or they can match up with Cleveland again. There's a scenario where they can match up with Cleveland again. So we still don't really know what their, you know, playoffs are going to be like, what their matchup is going to be like, and what's going to happen there. But again, with OG there, I feel a lot better. So here's their next schedule for the end of the year. They have 6 games left. They play the Bulls 3 times, which is crazy. So they play in Chicago tonight. Then they play in Milwaukee, in Chicago, in Boston. Then their last 2 games of the year, they play Brooklyn and Chicago again. So they have, of course, that Bucks and Celtics game is going to be tough. But after that, they have 4. I mean, the Bulls 3 times and the Nets. Those should be wins. Now, playing the Bulls 3 times, they're probably going to lose one of those games, at least. Just because you play a team 3 times in that shorter stretch, you know. It's tough to beat a team 3 times in that way. But you never know what's going to happen. But they have some easy games left where they can get some easy wins, you know, and kind of climb up and maybe get that 3 shot, you know. So we'll see what happens. But, I mean, it's very tough without Julius Randle there. But I think the Knicks, this team, the way they've been playing, I think they'll be okay. But OG is the big key to this team. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you enjoyed content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications also like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really does that a lot. Join the membership. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.